Hoping that someone gets this because we are back.
We had an issue with the old computer that we tried to get set up.
It decided that it needed to do some updates in the middle of the stream. So
that's fun.
Great.
Okay. So we're back on the stream here. So I don't know exactly what we're gonna do here. It's kind of irritating.
Very irritating. So let's talk Star Wars. All right, go back to it and let's get into. We're ready to do spoilers. Talk about what we really liked. This really cool scenes that we had. Faster than Chris. Hey Mario, you win. You know what? Just for that, we're going to. Actually, we're not doing anything. We're just keep going. So, no, sorry, Chris. I don't care what you say. He commented first, which means he is faster. Sorry about that, buddy. Let's talk Star Wars. Let's talk Tarkin. Let's talk spoilers. And I swear, if this thing...
Oh, but that's funny, though, because now we can have the spoiler version and the not spoiler
Oh,
version.
as a separate video.
Yeah, separate video.
Yeah, there we go. That's fine.
So, this is getting into the spoiler version of the live stream. So, if you do not want to be spoiled...
This is not the video to watch.
This is absolutely not the video.
You should go and watch the other video.
So, if you have not seen Star Wars, go back. Watch the other live stream. It's about 20, 25 minutes long or something like that.
Then go watch The Last Jedi.
Then go watch The Last Jedi. Then come back and watch this because...
And there'll be spoilers.
This is spoilers. This is spoiler territory. We are saying this is spoiler territory. So if you do not want to be spoiled, go away.
Bye. Bye, Happy Apple Dragon.
Because we are doing that.
This is going to be
You have been warned. You cannot blame us if you get spoiled.
Okay. I think they get the point. Spoiler territory, everyone. Let's do this. What was your... Yeah. Sorry, I can't talk right now. Annika, glad you saw it yesterday. You can join us. You have been granted permission by the Lucas Overlords. I gotta say something. It is so weird watching a Star Wars movie. And I know you went through this with The Force Awakens, but it's so weird to see a Star Wars movie that does not start off with the 20th Century Fox fanfare.
What's also weird is not having screen wipes every 12 seconds.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I really love what Disney does with the way that they do their cinematography, the way they do their editing, the way they do the music. It just feels the perfect blend of new and old, and it's solid. Mm-hmm.
So we get to the title crawl, and I felt it. I'm sure you felt it too. As the logo popped up and the music starts to play, I mean the whole auditorium went nuts just for the music, and I cannot wait to go through that again because I'm going to see it again this time with Lindsay if we can find a babysitter. Really hope that thing starts to work again. So what else? Where do we go from there?
So it opens up into similar territory. It's in space battle. It's Star Wars.
Well, you know what? Thus far, spoilers have not been present in this video. Let's get to some...
No, that's fine. But I mean, like... Go ahead.
Okay, so you know what I hate in movies?
What?
I hate movies where there is one central conflict that takes up the entire movie, and everything that's going on is about taking care of that one little conflict that really feels like there should be more things going on.
But there are so many things going on in this movie.
But when this movie started off, and I realized after a while that, okay, this whole movie, really, ultimately, it is about, like, most of the tension is coming from the fact that, the Dreadnought is going after the Rebellion ship, and the big ship can't keep up with the good guy ship.
And it's only got two days worth of fuel.
And so like when I realized, okay, they're going to drag this out for the entirety of the movie. It's going to be like the thing going on in the background the whole time. I was a little worried because I do not like it when films do that. They did it right, and I don't even know how they did it.
Well, with the whole, Rose and Finn going off to do their thing to get the codes to get onto the Dreadnought, that was pretty cool. And I like the fact that they got the stuff, but they still failed.
That's a very good point.
Like, because you don't normally see that in a Star Wars movie. It's like, oh, they've got a plan. The plan's going to work out. This plan didn't work.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, wait, they got caught. oh, but look, Deus Ex Machina, they've got a code breaker here. So everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah.
And then
they've
they
got
get
plot
caught.
armor, right? It's going to be fine.
Nope.
So the plan that they had with the Dreadnought didn't work at all. But
and it's all because of BB-9E, which was the black...
The evil BB-8.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's literally BB-9E.
Okay.
So I figured that's just like BB-8 plus 1 to the 9, and just tack an E on there for evil.
No.
Or empire. He'll throw you in jail and then do your carpets. Sorry. Okay, what do you think about Rose? That was a brand new character.
Brand new character.
Didn't expect to see additional characters like that.
I thought that was cool because what I didn't want to have happen is I didn't want, because people kind of thought Finn and Rey were going to be love interests, and I didn't really want that. Because I felt like that would detract from Rey's character.
And it's what they do in every movie where see people like that meet.
And so that was cool, I think, to make Rose Finn's love interest.
And kind of throw in a little flirtation between Rey and Poe at the end. Because like those two didn't meet. I forgot. Those two didn't even meet in the first movie. Despite the fact that both of them were important.
I felt like Finn-Rose adventure was a little too long in my opinion. I think Rose is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you could definitely. I mean, they had to give the character screen time. I mean, Finn's an important character in the series right now.
Yes, he is, and only going to get more important judging from what we saw in the movie. I thought that was a little long, but I don't think it was terrible. It could have been worse.
No, I don't think it was.
But
bad.
yeah, this movie, they decided to take everything that normally happens, make it look like it's what's going to happen, and then pull the rug out from under you.
But one of the things that I loved is that I loved that they blurred. They did the thing that we were talking about in our Star Wars theory. They blurred the lines between good and evil, Jedi and Sith. Like the good guys and the bad guys, and they even went so far as to show that the people who make the weapons for the First Order are the same people who make the weapons for the Rebellion. The same people. And that just goes to show just how dirty and like sideways war can be. There's not clear-cut good guys and bad guys. And we were really spot on with our theory for the majority of this movie until they took a left turn on us, towards the end. So
one of the things that they, I felt they were trying to make you feel like something was going to happen that didn't happen was, the Empire, the First Order was tracking them. And they say, we're tracking them. We got them on a leash there. We're tracking them. And then Leia is incapacitated, so they're like, well, now here's the second in command now. And this woman's going to take over. Someone we've never met. Someone who looks like she could have something up her sleeve. I was thinking immediately, that's her. She's the one that's letting the First Order track them. Gotcha. That's what I thought. And when Poe pulls his gun, has his mutiny thing, I was like, yeah, you get her. She's gonna try and destroy you all.
Yeah, but no, that's a good
subversion. And then it turns out I think anyone watching the movie would have thought what I was thinking.
No, that was a really good subversion because I thought to myself, this woman, she seems to be like. She doesn't really have a plan, and she's just trying to get, run away. But she had a plan the entire time, and Poe Dameron he didn't trust that, and I think that's cool that they took that little bit of subversion there and kind of, tricked us. We expect, Poe's a main character. He's gonna know better, because he's what's going on. Mm-hmm. But he didn't know what's going on, and he made mistakes.
So bad that Leia had to get up out of her hospital bed and shoot him.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm surprised Leia lived. I expected her to die because Carrie Fisher died. So I expected them to kill her character off.
Yeah, so even if that was the plan, to have her use the Force to save herself, as soon as she died, I would have anticipated them to just, cut it out and make it okay, she died here and that's it. Cut out everything else that has to do with her. Reshoot a few scenes that happened later on in the movie. But, no, she's still alive, and that was definitely not something I saw coming.
I don't know how they're going... I guess they're going to kill her off screen, which I guess is probably more respectful.
Either that or you CGI like they did in Rogue One.
No, that would be really disrespectful, I think. So I feel like killing her off screen would probably be the most respectful thing. She's old. Luke's dead, so...
Oh, my goodness, that
and
was...
and can you really even say that he's dead? Because, Yoda came back and did
Oh!
stuff. Okay, so Yoda coming back, I was like, okay, we got Force Ghost Yoda. That's cool. That's some cool stuff. And then he just freaking calls lightning down from the sky. Boom. And it was like, okay, Yoda is still awesome.
Yes, Yoda is actually... Sorry, no, it's more like Yoda is awesome again, because he was not awesome in the prequels. Most of the time, he didn't seem to have any character. I felt like he was very dry. Of course, he had humor.
I
and
think
he had character.
I
in
feel
4,
like
5, and 6,
Yoda
or 5 and
had
6.
been in the Jedi Council for so long
It
that
just
he
sucked the life out of him.
sucked the life out of him. That he was full of bureaucracy and he was just so tired of everything. And so when he got put on Dagobah by himself, I feel like that was him just kind of like coming into his own like again and being who he is. And then when he met Luke, that was the real Yoda. The Yoda that was free of the bureaucracy, free of the crap, and I think we really got that when we saw him interact with Yoda again, as a Force ghost, and he was still the same Yoda in the sense like, oh, the Rey has everything that she needs to be a good Jedi because
Rey stole
stole all the books already. She's got the books on the Falcon.
So all Yoda really did was destroy a tree. That's it.
Yeah. So I think that's funny because I feel like that Yoda sort of gave Luke some closure about the end of the Jedi because Luke thought it was time for the Jedi to end, and so.
And he was right. And you know what? I think Yoda kind of was on the same page there. You know what? The Jedi, as the order they were, their knowledge should still be passed on. But, I mean, there's no point in trying to keep this dying religion afloat.
And I like the fact that Luke said this is the last of the Jedi religion. And he said that, they'd like you to think that the Jedi were all the, these good guys or whatever, but that's not in their deeds. And that we talked about that in our theory video too. And I would like to say just how much I thought I was completely right the entire movie with all of the stuff that was going on. Because every time something happened, I was like, holy crap, did we get this right? Holy crap, did we get this right? I'm over here like elbowing Duffy going like, oh my God, are we right?
You know what, though? Take some credit here. We were a heck of a lot more right than Matt Pat was.
Oh, yeah, we were a heck of a lot more right than Matt Pat.
His big theory was about who Rey's parents were. And we said that. We said, you know what? We don't think the important thing is who her lineage is. We said it's going to be about the balance between good and evil. And so if we look at it
that's what the movie's going to be about.
We were right. And it turns out Rey doesn't even have any important parents. Her parents are nobodies.
Yeah.
And no one was saying that. I mean,
some people were saying nobodies.
Some people were saying honestly, that, but
I had two pervading theories. One was that she was going to be the reincarnation of Anakin Skywalker, and two, that her parents were going to be nobody. So those are my two theories, and I'm glad that I got right there.
Hey, Matt Pat's not wrong all the time, all right? I enjoy a lot of his theories, and you know what? Sometimes they're just about having fun. When it comes to trying to predict a movie, though, yeah, most people aren't going to be able to do that. And Rian Johnson...
I'm kind of good at predicting what's going to happen in a movie.
We did really good with this one.
We did really good with this one.
In the end, like, our ultimate, how it was going to end was way off.
I thought it was going to go with the Grey Jedi thing, but that's what I was saying. It was...
I didn't see a single person considering the possibility that Snoke would die off in the middle of the second movie.
No, I did not think that Snoke was going to die. That was unexpected. But like I said, some unexpected things happened, but the general story was not unexpected. Mm-hmm. The general story going for, with how it was going to go, with Kylo still being a bad guy and trying to do, push into the dark side. I feel like that was old hat Star Wars. I feel like that was right along the lines of something you would expect in a Star Wars movie, and it didn't subvert any of our expectations.
I think a lot of people were thinking that Kylo Ren was probably going to be turned at some point. I mean, even Rey was talking about how important it was going to be to turn Kylo Ren. I'm starting to wonder now if they just wanted you to think that so that they could go ahead and just make, nope, he is not going to turn. He is the ultimate bad guy. With Snoke gone, he's now the ultimate Sith Lord.
Yeah, there was a little bit of subversion there because it made us think he, much like Emperor Palpatine, would be at the end, and it would be a situation maybe where Kylo turns and finishes off his master.
But let's think about it now. Think about it now after having seen The Last Jedi. I realize, that would have just been doing the exact same thing all over again.
Yeah.
It happened in was it Revenge of the Sith with Count Dooku?
Okay.
It happened in Return of the Jedi with Darth Vader and Palpatine, and if they did it again, whoop-de-doo, they did it again. So I guess it makes sense to do that, but you don't usually just toss out your overarching.
Yeah, and I
like
honestly
that.
can't tell you where I think the movie is going to go because the rebellion's in shambles. The First Order doesn't seem like it's doing very well. I mean, a lot of its stuff got destroyed, and Kylo Ren is now in control, and we know that he's sort of a loose cannon and not that good of a leader. So I can't imagine that he would be making very good decisions long term for the First Order. And you know that one guy, Hux, is just looking for an opportunity to put a blaster to Kylo's head.
Yeah, except we know what happens when they shoot a blaster at Kylo's head, and it just stops.
Yeah, well, that's a thing.
Speaking
of blasters, let's talk about Luke.
Oh, man. Okay.
When Luke showed up,
and
then, like, Kylo loses his mind, and he's like, fire everything at
every
that man.
gun, fire that man. Oh.
And then, it's all firing and firing and firing. And I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be a Dragon Ball Z moment. I said that. This is a Dragon Ball Z moment.
He leans over and says that, whispers that to me, and I lean back over and I say, I'm not entirely sure what that means.
So, like, there's blasts everywhere, and the dust clears, and he's still standing there. And that's what I mean by a Dragon Ball Z moment.
I get it.
And so I thought to myself, did he create a force bubble that was, like, super strong, that nothing got through? I did not expect him to not be there.
Oh, goodness, yes.
I didn't expect it to be this big ploy of...
This big force illusion.
This is just
subversion.
Exactly. There was a lot of subversion.
So if J.J. Abrams' thing is the mystery box, Rian Johnson's thing is just lying the crap to your face.
Yeah, lie straight to your face. Anything that you think you're seeing right now, you're not actually seeing.
Mm-hmm. So,
which I appreciate, to be honest.
I thought it would have been really cool if Luke had, like, the dust cleared. I think this would be even more of a Dragon Ball sort of thing, where if, like, the dust cleared and, like, all of the energy blasts from the machines that were, like, circulating around him, and then just, like, dissipate those. It might have been a bit over the top. I like the way they did it.
Yeah, but
I'm glad they did it the way they did it.
That goes with the overall plot. Like, the theme of the movie is that, like, one person can ignite hope, but one person isn't going to win the war with overwhelming power. So it's not like he shows up, destroys all of those First Order, giant machines, and, like, wins the day because he's Luke freaking Skywalker.
Oh, but when that dust cleared and he just steps out, looks so good.
He's like, oh.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Luke was ready.
That was good.
Hey, Chloe, we are talking spoilers.
Yeah, so if you don't want to watch this, Chloe, because you haven't seen the movie,
make sure you leave and watch this after you see The Last Jedi.
Yeah, you can watch this after you see The Last Jedi.
So, yeah, and we're also currently talking about, like, the very end of the movie stuff, so you definitely don't want to hear this. So, you've been warned.
Yeah, so I talked previously about lightsaber fights when, I guess they were fighting the Knights of Ren. When Kylo and Rey were fighting those guys that had, like...
No, I don't think those were the Knights of Ren.
Okay.
I think those were specifically Snoke's bodyguards, because though they were dressed in a very similar outfit what Palpatine's.
But they had lightsaber type weapons that were really, like,
but so did they. So did the Palpatine's guards had lightsaber type weapons. No, the Knights of Ren. And see, here's the thing: we never really knew who the Knights of Ren were in Force Awakens. They were referenced, and you had to wonder what they were like. Why did Kylo make his last name named after that? At least that's what I heard people saying. I thought Knights of Ren, leader of the Knights of Ren. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a fraternity. That sounds like a bunch of college frat boys who were like, "We're the Knights of Ren, woo!" And then find out in this movie that basically was the case. They were just like they were the dark side influenced students of Luke's that Kylo was able to get to his side. It was a very Lucifer and the Angel sort of thing, where except in this case, instead of God dispelling Lucifer, it was Luke had his butt handed to him by Kylo Ren.
And that's really, I mean, like, he had a moment of weakness, and it was like, there's darkness, I can feel it, and then he turns his lightsaber on, and then he realizes what he's doing, and then Kylo wakes up, and then he's like, feels betrayed, and then next thing you know, everything goes to crap.
Well, it goes again to how Luke is supposed to be a person and not a legend.
Yeah.
So in this,
he makes mistakes.
Luke says, the first time, he completely lies about what happened.
Yeah.
He leaves out the part that makes it look like he might not have been the best guy.
Yeah.
Kylo's then tells his story. Now Luke has to admit the whole truth.
Yeah.
And, okay, well, you know what, Luke, we still believe you. You just lied the first time because you were afraid. And Luke is so fearful that it might also have something to do with why he had to cut himself off from the Force.
Yeah, because he might get drugged right into the dark side.
Yeah.
As far as going back to the lightsaber battles, that lightsaber battle with the teamed up Kylo and Rey.
Kylo Ren.
Great. Fantastic fight scene. Perfect blend of old and new styles of lightsaber fighting. And just great stuff. I was really pleased with that fight scene.
Me too.
Pleased with that fight scene. Okay, so I don't feel like there's a whole lot else to talk about except for the last scene of the movie.
Actually, I want to say something because I forgot to say this when we were talking about Yoda.
Okay.
I was shocked to see Yoda. I did not think they would touch him. I figured, you know what, Yoda is gone. It's been 40 years. It has literally been 40 years since the first movie came out. Since episode 4. It's been 40 years to the year. And then Luke is just angry, walking off, and then I see Yoda's ear. And I'm like, no!
Not only Yoda, but puppet Yoda.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I love it because I always love puppets more than I love CGI.
I thought CGI Yoda in the prequels looked fantastic. You can always do a lot more expression with the face. I was not upset to see puppet Yoda. I was just surprised. I get that they're trying to go back to how the originals were made with practical effects instead of special effects as often as possible. But puppet Yoda felt like...
I feel like CGI Yoda was necessary for the old one because he was actually fighting. You couldn't do puppet Yoda fighting.
No, you couldn't.
So, but you have old, broken down Yoda. Yeah, puppet Yoda's fine.
Okay. Well, to agree to disagree, I like CGI Yoda. I think it looks fine. At first, I couldn't quite tell if this was actually a puppet or if they were using CGI but trying to make him look like he moves like a puppet to kind of blend the two. But no, it was definitely a puppet. The face didn't move anywhere near as much as it used to.
And they had Frank Oz listed as being in the credits.
Well, he does the voice for Yoda.
But I mean, if he's... Anyway, I just feel like...
Whatever. Yeah, clear. Yeah, it was definitely a puppet. When I saw Yoda show up, I was thinking I'd really like to see Obi-Wan show up too. I would not have minded if they tried to take Ewan McGregor and make him look like an old Alec McGinnis.
Yeah.
To kind of give us that.
What did somebody...
Somebody made a joke. What's Star Wars? Star Wars? What's that? A video game?
Okay. So something we'll talk about before we get to the final scene. You're not done?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I would have liked to see Obi-Wan show up. It made sense for Yoda to be there.
Yeah. And
I think it would have been really fitting. In fact, if they wanted to drag that scene out in like an extended version, like on the Blu-rays, I'd love to see an extended version with Obi-Wan, of course, looking, Ewan McGregor looking like Alec McGinnis, but also maybe try and bring Anakin into it. Not Hayden Christensen Anakin, but try and reproduce some sort of Anakin Skywalker that Luke saw in Return of the Jedi. Because they are all Force ghosts. I don't see why only Yoda would show up, and they're all important to Luke's story.
I know they're all important to Luke's story, but I feel like Yoda is especially important because he is the oldest Jedi. Like, he has more knowledge about the Jedi than anybody, just because he's so...
Right, and I'm glad that it was Yoda at first. I just thought, after Yoda destroys the temple and sits down with Luke to talk with him, we could have had at least, an Obi-Wan encounter as well to kind of confirm everything that Yoda is saying. And maybe putting Anakin there would be taking it too far. Actually, I think Anakin should probably just stay where he is. But Obi-Wan I kind of miss the idea of having that. But that's just me.
Speaking of Force ghosts... When Luke tells Kylo, see you around, kid, because you figure something's gonna happen, and then he meditates and he disappears. I'm like, I just want him to be following Kylo around.
Come on, that's what I said.
No, but like,
I want in the episode 9 for like Kylo Ren to be like having meetings with the First Order, and then like only Kylo can see it, and like here's this Force Luke being like, hey, what do you think they're talking about over there? What do you think they're talking about over there? Hey, what are you thinking about, buddy? What are you thinking about? Hey, kid, do you really think this is a good idea? You do? Hey, that guy over there, General Hux, you do realize he's planning to kill you, right? Just you could have so much fun with that. You remember the undercover boss video they did with Adam Driver for
yeah.
Kylo Ren. I would like to see a. I think there's like some late show host, one of the late shows. I'd like to see another talk show or some sort of group get get Adam Driver and Mark Hamill together just to film something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, don't even need to make it part of the
That'd
movie.
be funny as crap.
It would be the funniest thing Star Wars has ever done.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
fantastic. Okay, final scene.
All right, go ahead. Shoot. And you hold the camera because I'm getting really tired of holding this.
Okay. Final scene with the little kid who goes out to sweep up. It's very subtle. He leaves the door, puts his hand out. The broom comes to his hand with force powers.
Speculate.
So, I didn't know what to make of that. My initial thought is that the Force is just creating additional Force users as a, just sort of like, like to bring the Force back into balance somehow. However, Duffy had a really good idea.
I think the fact that Rey's parents, Rey's lineage, is nobody.
And
it's not Obi-Wan.
They sold her to slavers.
And they sold her to slaves because they're just scum. Why wouldn't they have other children?
That they
could sell to slavers, and why couldn't this be like her brother or something like that?
Yeah, so they may not know that they have really strong blood in the Force, and so they end up selling their children off to slavers, and there's all these Force-sensitive kids out there that, yeah. Oh, what? Okay.
Sorry.
So, yeah, all these Force-sensitive kids out there, and maybe Rey has a sibling out there that she doesn't know about.
That would be really interesting. Very interesting. Because this was the kid, that Rose and Finn. So I can't remember her name.
Rose and Finn met
while they were on that casino planet. And I'm not sure. It could be either one, I think. I think there's really only two options. Either this is Rey's brother, or it's just the Force is instilling other people with these abilities.
Yeah.
Because it is a little strange that this kid knows he has Force powers, but Rey didn't know until her first encounter
this kid
with Kylo.
seems really comfortable.
It's very natural to him. So that's something else we need to keep in mind.
It's not like, he was just like, whomp, and that was it. Didn't even think about it.
Yeah. There's another thing that happened in this that I think I want to point out. You wouldn't know this unless you had read an interview about it, but apparently when J.J. Abrams was filming the final scene for The Force Awakens, Rian Johnson, who again directed this movie, said, "Hey, look, I know you're going to have BB-8 and Chewie go with Rey to the island. Don't. I need you to put R2-D2 there instead." And, Russ and I had wondered, why that would be. There has to be some sort of significance, and it paid off. When Luke tells R2, there's no way, there's nothing you can say that's going to convince me, otherwise I'm not doing this. And then he plays the freaking Leia holographic message to Obi-Wan. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a great little callback. And the first of this trilogy, The Force Awakens, I felt a lot of people, as well as me, felt that it was very heavily reliant on nostalgia and callbacks. Yeah. And this one had just enough that it was a nice touch for those who had seen the past movies.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so much that it just drove the whole thing.
Which makes me wonder if the next movie is going to be a complete departure. You know what I mean?
That could be the case.
There won't be a whole lot of nostalgia present in the last movie. It'll just be a complete departure into something totally new.
We're going to find out who the Last Jedi is. Because that was another question people were asking. Who's the Last Jedi? And Luke said, "I'm not the Last Jedi."
Yeah.
Oh man, Rey came a long way in this one movie, and Luke came a long way in this one movie. I was really happy to see Luke go out the way he did. I'm hoping we see more of him in the next film.
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, I still feel a little bit Mary Sue-ish about Rey because she's doing so much with practically zero training. So Kylo with his raw strength was trained by Luke and Snoke, and she's able to match him and beat him.
Well, keep in mind that he took a blaster to the face from Chewie. When they had that fight?
No, I'm talking about in this movie.
Oh, this movie.
So this is literally like just a few days after the end of The Force Awakens, and she had some serious butt pull power, because like she just pulled it right out of her butt. Just like super power jump. The ability for her to be able to control the Force. And, you know, like, I feel like she did in just a few days, both times, what it has taken Jedi for millennia to do their entire lives. Which I feel like kind of spits on the whole thing. But to be fair, Snoke did say, as Kylo grew in power, he expected his light side rival to appear and grow. So, I mean, there's kind of some play right there that you can say that, oh well, that's just the Force kind of gifting her these abilities because there's a dark side user and this needs to balance out.
Yeah.
But because the story did not go the way that I thought it was going to go, and we were going to have light side, dark side in one person and have the gray Jedi thing, I have a less positive opinion of the Force as an entity. Because I feel like the Force wants conflict.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I feel like the Force desires conflict between Force users and people in general, and not peace. And balance is Force, because balance is life and death, and that cycle.
This is the thing. I think this was a fantastic movie, probably the best Star Wars movie to come out. Only rival being The Empire Strikes Back, but I think that was the worst thing they could have done when it came to that one point.
Yeah.
The Force does want conflict, according to Rian Johnson, and I think that our idea was actually... I think that's the theme
you can take away from it, is that the Force wants conflict.
And I think that just proves that our theory was actually better. I think our theory was the only thing that could have made
we've kind of got a thing going here. Every time we make a theory, we're kind of right, but we're wrong. But if we were right, it would have been better.
There we go. We're two for two. I think we're on point there. Now, talking about the future, Rian Johnson, Disney liked The Last Jedi so much that even before it was released, Disney said, Rian Johnson, we're going to give you the power to make your own Star Wars trilogy with completely original characters from a completely different time and different places and everything. You get it. Apart from that thing, oh boy, bad connection.
But
apart from that thing that happened in with the Force, I think this movie was great, and I'd love to see more from this guy.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, guys. If you guys would please comment on the last video about the New Year's thing, that would be great. We're gonna tweet that. We're going to put it on Facebook so that we can get as much information as possible.
Yeah, if you're not following us on social media, you should, because we'd like to be able to communicate with you guys there.
Yeah, because that's where our day-to-day communication is going to come from, is Twitter and
mostly
and
Twitter, because Facebook doesn't really get that much activity.
Yeah, so if you would like to talk to us, please talk to us there.
Yeah, and of course Patreon is the best way that you can get in touch with us. Costs you $1 a month at most, but or at least
$1 a month.
But $1 a month at least. But hey, we get to talk with you guys and hang out with you more.
And you get to shape, content.
Yeah, you definitely get to shape content there. But anyway, guys, keep in mind about that New Year's giveaway. Whether it's New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, the more subscribers we get, building off of 2,100 as our foundation, the more stuff we get, the more stuff we give away, which means start sharing our channel and our videos with your friends.
Yep.
Share on social media.
Start sharing the previous video and this video so that people can know about the giveaway and know about what we're trying to do.
We'll put out a more official video about the event itself once we figure out what day it's going to be.
So for the next couple of days, we're going to start take polls and figure out what we're going to do.
So once we figure that out, we'll have that out. But start sharing our channel now, and if we get up to a certain number, which we will have...
We're still going to give a giveaway. No matter what, we're going to have a giveaway.
Yes.
But the more subscribers we get between now and the first of the year, we're going to give away so much stuff.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Origin Story tomorrow morning, and it's going to be a crossover one with Lindsay and I both. So.